Right, well, transitioning again. So, like, this is the last sort of chapter we'll be doing, which is obviously a new beginning, and I put a question mark on the end of that because it's kind of a bit hard to tell. So, it's a bit of a mixed bag what's kind of gone on with the promotion since then. So, following the speaking out movement, it was clear progress, and the wrestling scene as a whole would have to do a lot of work to change the business. So, some things have come out of it. So, several MPs, along with a lot of the women involved with the speaking out movement, have now formed what was known as the All Party Parliamentary Group for Wrestling, chaired by MP Alex Davies Jones, and they're looking up to set up the regulatory body for the industry to kind of help filter out, obviously, all those bad people involved with it. Progress themselves have made numerous posts updating people regarding their introducing of new safeguarding and whistleblowing policies to help protect its talent, staff, as well as the fans, as well as a revised code of conduct. Again, I'll place these in the description wherever you're listening or watching this, just so you can have a read of it yourself. While sort of still rebuilding from the wake of the speaking out, Progress obviously still couldn't run shows, but they were still able to sort of spotlight themselves. So there'd been a long-standing rumor and report that Progress, along with some other indie promotions linked with WWE, would be getting added to the network, and this did happen and was confirmed. So at the end of 2020, both Progress, ICW, Evolve, and WXW all had content added to the network, and it's been a continuous stream every week of new chapters and new shows added from all those promotions. It would still be a while before Progress could run new shows. However, that changed this year on the 20th of February when they were able to run Chapter 104, the Natural Progression series. That aired both on their demand service as well as the network. And since then, they followed up with a steady stream of shows. So they've had Chapter 105 Bring the Thunder, which had the very first Women's Thunder Bastard match, as well as Chapter 106 Put a Pony in My Pocket, respectively. These new chapters are obviously being done under the restraints of lockdown, so they've had to move out the ballroom, and now they're at the Theatre Peckham. There is no crowd in attendance, and everyone performing is required to wear a face mask. We should point out as well, despite when they launched the show, there was a bit of a controversy. So Paul Robinson was backstage, I think it was at the Chapter 104 show, purely in a booking sense. He had allegations leveled against him where he'd kissed the 16-year-old. Following that show, obviously, there was a lot of reports again about if Progress had introduced these new measures, were they being that effective, if they would allow Robinson back. They obviously had to release a statement saying that they'd investigated the situation and gone through the procedures, but ultimately what followed was Progress announced they would be no longer working with Robinson, and Robinson himself released a statement regarding the situation where he denies the allegations. So leave that to your discretion on what you think on that. Generally, though, I've watched pretty much most of the new chapters that have come out, and I think you've caught a few yourself. What are your thoughts on the product now? Did you like anything about it? Because they have, obviously, because of the way they're filming it, there has been some changes, but it does feel like it is a bit of a different product to what it previously was. Do you like the direction it's going so far? Is there anything you dislike about it?
I still like where it's going. We had the first female Thunder Bastard match, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah,
a solid. Cara Noir, solid. I feel like there's still just it's somewhat tainted in a way. When the pandemic is over, which might be this summer, and then it will probably come back in the winter because the government have left too long of a gap between the first and second jab, whatever. Beside the point. When we're back up and running, the promotion that will probably do the best in the UK will most likely be Progress, right? I'm sure they had some kind of actual decent revenue coming through from WWE. A lot of the other promotions haven't had that and haven't been able to run shows. And I wonder what kind of support they've been having, whether they could even put anyone on furlough, whether they could have done any of this. We will see what this means going forward. In terms of how the actual product is, I think it's still fine. I think it will take a while to build up to what they were and start building those stories again. But if anyone can do it, it's not only the people that Progress, but it's the crowd of Progress.
Yeah.
And I don't think the diehard crowd going anywhere.
No, I agree.
They're still going to be at the shows. They're still going to be at the ballroom every month. They're still going to go to the Ali Pali shows. They are still going to, head up north when they return up north. Maybe they'll come to Plymouth. I don't know.
Hey, you never know, man. You never know.
No, it's decent. It's good. It's hardly a starting point, but it's a good starting up again point.
It's probably still a bit too early to tell, given we've only had 3 shows so far, and the fact that it kicked off with that little bit of controversy with Paul Robinson. I think overall, I'm still enjoying it. Like, it is weird watching a Progress show with no crowd, because, like I said, the crowd and the fans are a big reason why I love watching Progress. But you can say that about all wrestling in general. But the matches have been good. It's clear, obviously, the need to reestablish a new roster and a new locker room, even though they got a few of the old faces back. But there has been some cracking matches so far. Excuse me. I'd recommend checking out, I believe it was Lou Jacobs versus Ethan Allen. So they're tag team partners in the Young Guns, but they were part of the National Progression, and it was in the semi-final. That was a brilliant, hard-hitting match. And I haven't finished watching the recent show, Chapter 106, but I did catch a few matches. TK Cooper versus Gene Money was terrific. I'm very happy to see Kid Lycos back in a ring again. I generally thought he wouldn't be coming back, and so that gives me hopes that we'll be able to see Schadenfreude when they can all get back together. Hopefully they'll make an appearance on Progress, and just seeing CCK wrestle again would be great. Roy Johnson is a good choice for their new ring announcer. I think he doesn't come across great yet because he's very much a person who needs to feed off a crowd. And I think it must be really awkward for him having to do his shtick in an empty room and try and make it entertaining. So I think once the crowd returns, and if he does stay, he'll do well. And I like the commentary team. Not psyched on the logo they're using now. It's a bit boring compared to what they've used before. But again, that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, they probably don't have much feedback right now, I suppose. You really do just in every step, whether it's commentary, whether it's the wrestlers in the ring, whether it's the merch you sell, whatever it is, it's so informed by a crowd and by just that constant feedback you get by just people, even just the hum and the energy in the room. Gives you that. It just informs what you do and informs how you go. And I think they're probably struggling with that a fair bit.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think what will be the deciding factor is when fans can return and how many will return to the product. I think you are right. There's going to be those diehards there that will basically be Team Progress till the very end. I think they did definitely lose a few. Like if you look at a lot of the comment sections, either around things with the speaking out movement or the recent stuff with Robbo, there's a lot of people who do very seem to be done with Progress. I think it's one of those things where I like so many people would jump on the bandwagon of just wanting to cancel it outright when the speaking out thing first happened, and obviously I was upset, but I just never thought that was the way to go around it. Like at least they've showed that they're trying to redeem themselves by they got rid of the old management. They're at least trying to introduce a diverse management team to try and fix a lot of the issues. Fair enough, there's still a few stumbling blocks there, but I mean, they haven't introduced all these new policies and rules without there ever actually being much in wrestling. So I think it's like new territory for everyone. So I think there is going to be a few hiccups along the way. So hopefully those will get ironed out. I'm generally interested to see what happens when the fans return. I do like the direction it's heading. I think one note I had is like I like the formatting of the show where it feels a bit more like a TV product in a sense. Like they've got a bit more in like having more sort of backstagey bits, which I'm not totally against, and they've got like things like a bit of adverts for merch, things like that. So I think they're trying to make it a bit more of like a more traditional product, but it's still got the kind of Progress feel to it.
Well, it's like they're getting it ready to fit on the network.
Yeah, do you reckon they'll just completely get rid of Demand Progress and just be fully on the network? I mean, it's going to be interesting how that works, given in America it's on Peacock now, and then apparently they're looking at doing something similar over here.
I don't know. Apparently all the stuff on Peacock it's not going to be there like straight away.
I'm not surprised given the amount of shit that's on there. I mean, moving that over is going to be an absolute hassle.
It's going to be very difficult to even find things on there that you want to search for. I doubt you'll be able to just type in Stone Cold and then be able to find all those matches.
Yeah.
It will likely not be... It will likely stunt new people watching Progress in America who might have been, seeing things. I know that it's been promoted a fair bit on the site. Or at least maybe to me, perhaps they have something in place that they know that I'm in the UK, so they know that I'll watch it.
No, I think the social media channels have done their fair share of like pushing it, so at least people, I guess, across the world are aware that it's there,
Fingers crossed, everything gets back and the wrestlers that have just been kind of a little bit out of work are able to get back in the ring. Hopefully some of the disenfranchised wrestlers are able to jump back in and continue on, but I don't know. We'll see how just wrestling in general survives. AEW, WWE, New Japan, obviously they're going to be fine. But like you say, so many things have died and are dying and may possibly die. We have no idea if when things open up, there's going to be... Like, we don't know how the markets for things are going to change. Are people still going to go to wrestling shows? Who knows?
No, I agree. I think that's the kind of thing. It's still... People over here in the UK are getting excited because lockdown is starting to ease, and it's got that aura of last time where everyone's like, oh, well, that's the end of the coronavirus. And it's like, well, nope, we are still firmly in those woods. I think it is a foregone conclusion that a lot of wrestling will not be able to return because of this. But given, I was talking about this with someone else before, I don't think we're ever going to see the UK wrestling scene die again. I think it has firmly planted itself back. I just think there is going to be a tough period following the coronavirus for it to get back to like a healthy scene again. But I think it will. I think we've got the scene now, and there's obviously like hungry new talent that'll come up and bring about like a new era, if you like. So it's just going to be rough roads ahead, but I think eventually we'll hopefully see something good come out of it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any final thoughts or remarks on Progress? We've kind of gone over a lot.
I don't know. I do wonder. It's you just have no idea where it's going to go. Whether there's going to be any kind of extra pushback, if more people are going to come in, because it happened during the pandemic. We don't know if that's really going to hit sales and tickets when things open up. We don't even know if the venues that they use are even going to be fully living and surviving by the end of this all. I mean, it's difficult. You talk about wrestling, but you can bring up literally everything in society is on the fucking edge, on the brink.
Yeah, totally agree, man. I think my closing remarks would be, I'm hoping Progress will stick around and that we see it go into a new era, and that it is imposing positive change, given the fact like it was a big source where clearly a lot of bad stuff was going on. I will always remain nostalgic and a fan for it because although I've never gone off wrestling for the longest time, obviously when you're strictly only in the world of WWE, it could be easy to not be as tuned in with it. So I owe a lot to Progress for reinvigorating my love and passion for pro wrestling, because it introduced the whole other world of wrestling for me to explore. So I'm obviously going to be indebted to it for that. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Hopefully it's nothing but good things to come out of it, but we'll just have to see what happens.
I owe my friendship to you, to Progress Wrestling and shit like that, so can't all be bad.
No, totally agree. Like I think it's a big part in why we did this podcast and why we're such good friends as a result of it.
Hold on, wait, give a kiss. Mwah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining everyone who's been tuning in to watch with us. If you want to check us out on the social media channels, Bearhug Club Podcast, Facebook and YouTube, Bearhug Club Pod on Instagram, and Bearhug Club on Twitter. Not a lot to plug this week. I've been saying for ages I need to edit some videos that we shot a while back. I will hopefully be doing it. Wait. The only thing I want to mention is that we do have a new show, which is in partnership with a friend at the Pick and Mix podcast, which I've fronted, called Young Men Yell at Clouds. So we're trying to work on the minutiae, but I think we're going to be putting the episode on both this platform and theirs. And essentially, it's just a conversation podcast where we get people on to complain about shit. We're going to have a revolving door of guests. So fingers crossed, we'll get Garrod over here on an episode. I'm sure he's got plenty he would love to rant about. So just keep an eye out for that. I'm hopefully going to be releasing that next week. But until then, if not, catch you next week, guys. See ya.